Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to the final presentation of the Blended Intensive Program on Legal Design and Access to Justice. Over the past month, students from University of Saragossa, Poliarte Academy, and the Yeditepe University, and of course SWPS University, have worked together on a truly interdisciplinary and creative way. Supported by Amnesty International, internal and external teachers, and hosted here by the Department of Graphic Design at University SWPS, this program has been both a workshop and an experiment, a guerrilla-style design laboratory aimed to addressing questions of human rights and social justice. The project you are about to see were created in a connection with the International Letter Writing Marathon, with a goal of raising awareness, fostering sensitivity, and sharing knowledge about human rights in accessible, imaginative forms. Under the guidance of our international team of experts, students transform ideas into conceptual storytelling solutions, showing us how design can amplify voices and support justice. Thanks to Wojciech Jastrzębski, our virtual gallery is now ready to warmly welcome. The order of the presentation will be as follows: pen pals, strawberries, sans serif, and your friendly neighborhood designers. At the end, I'd like to thank our partners, Amnesty International, all colleagues and collaborators who made this program possible. And of course, I invite you to enjoy both the exhibition and the short presentation by each of the team. Thank you very much, all of you, and let us begin with a pen pals design team. Thank you so much. Pen pals, the scene is yours.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello again, everyone. We are the pen pals team, and we will be telling you about the project we created for Right for Rights Marathon. Firstly, as a team, we wanted our target audience to be young people, and we started with the main problem, which is that young people don't pay attention to human rights violations, or they are not interested in helping. Our target group, which is young people or teens, are people who are interested in internet culture. They are immersed in it. For them, their friend group's opinion matters the most, and they are often hear discouraging opinions about participating in pro-social causes, mostly from adults. That the young generation today is concerned with their social image more than any other generation before, due to the constant exposure of internet and public eye in the pivotal points of their lives. They often feel scared to be judged and afraid of being left out from the group. So they feel anxious about what could make them stand out, and therefore they feel vulnerable. So we decided to focus on what makes our desired audience afraid in the general sense. And then we compared those instances to examples of when we have to fight for human rights. So with our campaign, we want to convince the new generation to not be afraid, to speak out and take action, that being proactive isn't as scary as it seems. We want to show them that it is courageous, powerful, and it can even be heroic, maybe. Human rights are universal, as we know. Fear is also universal, so we connected those two themes together. We want to show our audience that we can take action towards protection, even with an act as simple as writing a letter. So to help a real person in danger to conquer that fear of standing out. So because fighting for human rights, it's protecting every human's safety and honor. So therefore, we use symbols of common fears and phobias among young people, like darkness, ghosts, spiders, etc. And we connected them on a symbolic level with the kinds of human rights violations that they represent. Our designs and symbolisms on them are made for interpretation, as human rights are also universal. They are also made to be empowering to young audiences, to show them that using their voices is not as scary as it seems. However, of course, there are some places in the world where exercising those rights can be dangerous. So that is exactly why they should speak out and stand up for each other. The scenes illustrated here are aimed to excite and motivate young people to take action towards this goal. So from here, I leave it to Ariel.
Yes, thank you, Berre. We've used simple illustrations with Amnesty's brand book colors, which are high contrast and eye-catching. They're not very colorful, as the subject is quite serious, and it's a difficult balance to keep. Not too scary or violent, but also not childish. The fact that young people these days really enjoy the more grungy and dark and creepy aesthetics in media only adds points to our choice. The illustrations are quite versatile. They can be used on many formats, moved or even animated, thanks to the layers. So now really quickly about the connections, the symbolic concepts of these posters. The characters on the illustrations are actively fighting. They are overcoming, they are overpowering those dangers. And that's how we got the image of the person fighting a lurking ghost. They're protecting their right to privacy and family. They are chasing off the symbol of death and peeping eyes. A person who is stuck in a spider web, who's like tearing through the web with a pencil, symbolizes the right to a fair trial, because writing a letter can free someone else who's stuck in a winding and unjust court system. A young person holding a pen and a shield, covering themselves from the hands of hungry monsters, represents that they're using their right to no torture or inhumane treatment. And finally, there's also an educational aspect to our project. We've noticed that kids or teens don't often know that they should have human rights and what those rights are. That's why we added simple explanations of a few basic human rights. They also add some context to the illustrations, putting the viewer in the shoes of our characters. And so now it's only time to see if our solution motivates young people to participate in the letter writing marathon and to spread the timeless message of right for rights, which is our goal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ariel. I really hope it will. Thank you for your presentation. And now we can turn into Strawberries teams.
Okay, good evening. We're Strawberries team, and for this year's Letter Marathons campaign on climate justice, we wanted to do like more than just ask for help. We wanted to inspire a generation, so we can make them feel proud, powerful, and like they're part of something that really matters. So the group most likely to pay attention to these issues is young people. They already think about not just their own future, but also about the next generations. Young people are aware of the problems of our world is facing. They just need a push and a reason, a motivation to act, to let them know that they can help changing the world for the better. If young people become engaged today, they will inspire the following generation. So that's why with these posters, we wanted to give them that push and also make them feel proud of taking action. With this campaign, we wanted to send a clear and powerful message. The world needs a change and anyone can be part of that. Our audience, as we already described, is young, open-minded, and brave. With our campaign, we want to create a moment of shock and unexpected image that stays in their mind, something unforgettable, so they have time to think about it, create curiosity, and then lead it to action. So this led us to our core idea, a phrase with a double meaning: changing the world is freedom. This is more than a slogan, it's most like a promise. Making an impact doesn't require money, it only takes time and courage. So we created our play to connect these two ideas. First, it's free. You can join the movement at no monetary cost. And second, it's freedom. Every letter you write helps defend someone's rights. So the slogan invites them to be proud, feel supported by a community, and to know that their actions, despite them being big or small, can help. And helping is not a matter of money, but willpower, a quality that youth already have in terms of social topics. So to show this idea, we picked a visual style that matches this message. As we mentioned last time, in Poland, we got inspired by the work of the Polish photographer we visited. So we investigated more about Polish style. And we fell in love with the raw, powerful look of this style of photography, which is characterized by high contrast, black and white photos with grain, and that focuses on real life. So this way we emphasize authenticity and urgency. We use this style to make people stop and think. Using, for example, this black and white filter, like using them, distractions are removed, so we focus entirely on the message. And the only color in the poster is the Amnesty's yellow, used for highlighting the slogan and also to easily recognize the brand. Its poster is formed by an emotive photo, two of them related to climate crisis, emphasizing this year's topic, climate justice. These photos are paired with a single clear word that contradicts the scene. This contrast forces the viewer to think about the gap between what should be and what is. And for that, we decided to use capital letters and a bold sans serif typography for clarity and directness. And the word ends with a dot, like nothing else needs to be said to understand this message. So just a big word and a simple photo do all the work, showing that less is more. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Totally different visual language than the previous presentation. So thank you once again, Anna. And now the sans serif team.
Yeah, hello. I'm gonna present our posters and what we've created. So hello, our project is called Writing is Your Superpower. It's kind of our motto for the project, and the group is sans serif, as you've already mentioned. And we are very excited to present to you what we've created, our ideas, and by that, our support for the Amnesty International project. So you might be wondering, what do you want to express by stating writing is your superpower? We asked ourselves how we can help people understand that speaking up when it's needed is of common interest to all of us. It is very important for us that human rights aren't left or right, just right. Yet we understand that the decision to speak up is usually quite hard to make because we are scared for our lives, but that's exactly why we should work as a group, and that's what we want to encourage. This year's marathon theme is climate justice, and our project is focused on showing people how they can impact people's lives by a simple but great power that each of us has, writing. Our project is designed to be clear on the delicate subject, but not intrusive or overwhelming, direct but not scary, and serious and playful for greater involvement. Our project is intended to be a different kind of call to action, one that leverages clarity and humor precisely because we want to encourage, not scare, all of those people who are touched by the topic but are reluctant to come forward. Our goal is to encourage anyone who feels a little stressed or uncomfortable about seeing climate breakdown to improve the situation and at the same time help activists who would like to fight for it, but are punished for doing so. So our goal is to involve non-affiliated apolitical people, and that's how we felt as a group that we want to reach us. And here comes the fun part. We used superhero figures writing the letters so we can encourage people to take action by empowering them. We think that just as the superheroes have their unique superpowers, your words are your superpower. Use them to remind somebody that they're not alone. We thought about a series of advertising posters that showcase the action of writing. We wanted the posters to be simple, and that's why it's mostly dark background colors with the highlighted text. And the person writing the letter is the most important. So that's why we chose a variety of colors for them. And the focus shifts to the action that is writing. Superheroes are universal metaphors that each of us can identify with. Ordinary people, by carrying out small but very significant daily actions, make a difference for others. So we can help people and therefore become superheroes. Thank you so much.
So you don't need to have a cape to be a superhero. Thank you very much. And the last but not least, young friendly neighborhood designers with a beautiful acronym YFND.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you again. I'll start the presentation and then Pola will take over and bring it to a close. Coffee stains, ink stains, but prints, what do they have in common? They are all marks, small, human, almost meaningless marks. And they are the key idea of our campaign for Amnesty International's writing marathon. Because just like we all leave these everyday traces behind, we can also choose to leave a more important mark. But let's start from the beginning. Our target group became the so-called no-doers, people who avoid stepping out of their comfort zones, who distract themselves with escapism, who sometimes choose to ignore uncomfortable realities. In other words, all of us at some point. And then we asked, how do we reach those people and make them act? The writing marathon itself can feel too demanding. Writing a long letter, facing painful stories, but leaving a mark, that's something we all do anyway. So the campaign's message is leave a more important mark. In other words, leave a mark that matters. So we designed very simple posters around that idea. They show the contrast between insignificant everyday marks like stains, smudges, or scratches, and the call to action, leave a more important mark. It is simple but versatile. A mark can be something very small and insignificant, like crumbs on a keyboard or smudges on a mirror. It can also be something very significant but distractive, like signatures that politicians leave, sealing the fates of Amnesty's heroes. But there are also bigger marks, like oil stains in the ocean or polluted smoke coming out of industrial chimneys that destroys our planet. All of those marks take on a new meaning when set against our call to action. And with this mark idea, the possibilities are endless. So now I'll hand it over to Pola. Thank you for listening.
Yes, and also hello everyone. So continuing, beyond the posters, we developed other touch points to keep the message alive. One is, of course, the postcard design. It features the phrase unimportant mark. We wanted the phrase to work separately, but also synergize well with the posters. So the postcard itself is blank, giving the words more weight and inviting people to literally make their own important mark. And another extension is a social media filter, an idea that we had. It allows people to capture and share their own marks digitally, turning participation into something more accessible, shareable, and self-propelling. It makes space for those who want to do less than writing a letter, as well as for those who want to do more than just writing a letter. And finally, we looked at Amnesty's website, the three main routes overall for engagement if someone wants to take part in the writing marathon. The first one is through schools, the second one is through other organizations, and the first one is individually through the website and social media of Amnesty. And since the last one relies heavily on the website, we took a closer look at it, and right now the path is a little bit confusing and too text heavy on how to get engaged with the letter writing marathon. So we proposed a few guidelines for simplifying the process with clearer instructions, fewer steps, and more intuitive categorization, and we wrote it all in a super short document and bullet points. So finishing up, our campaign works on multiple levels: for posters for public impact, postcards for a tactile reminder, social media for a viral reach, and web improvements for smoother engagement. And all of them lead back to the same message, that we all leave marks every day. The question is, will we leave meaningless ones, or important ones? So I invite you all to leave positive, important marks, and thank you for listening to our presentation.
Thank you so much. You definitely left the mark with your presentation and with your astonishing work. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you for your hard work, creativity, and a huge congratulations for the results of the work you've done during the Blended Intensive program. I hope this approach, the virtual gallery, was a nice possibility to touch once again the space and the atmosphere of our university. The university, you are more than welcome every day, every time you think about to travel to Poland, you're really more than welcome. Thank you very much, all of you. Thanks so much.